We start with a man named Dallas Austin.
He's handsome.
2 Texas cities for a name. He is a music producer and mogul. He's the real life inspiration for Drumline and basically the person who shepherded this project from the ground up. A project that was in development hell, but let's learn about the man. He's from Columbus, Georgia. Grew up as basically kind of a musical prodigy, aspired to be a music producer and a keyboardist. He eventually broke into the music industry at the extremely young age of 19. He produced Boyz II Men's debut album when he was 20.
Wow.
Went on to be a producer for Madonna, TLC, Pink, Gwen Stefani, and more.
Damn.
And as a freshman in high school, and this whole movie was developed as a high school movie, not a college movie.
Oh, okay. That makes sense with the lack of sex.
Yeah. He joined the Drumline as a freshman in high school and, was hazed and bullied because he couldn't read music, by the upperclassmen on the band. And it seems like he had an older brother who was sort of a drum legend who was there when he was a freshman or maybe he had just left. Anyway, there was a target on his back, but he won everybody over. And so he's like, my story should be told as a movie.
I already like it.
All right. So he, some producers, Jody Gerson, Wendy Feinerman, they team up with Austin and they pitched the movie to Fox 2000, which was a boutique label of the late 20th Century Fox, which Disney put a bullet in the head of.
Got it.
And they greenlit the movie because of the elevator pitch. Basically, this is halftime is game time. But the Fox exec who greenlit it said one change is needs to be college, not high school.
Okay.
So the screenwriter they bring aboard is Tina Gordon Chisholm to write the screenplay and Charles Stone III as the director. And I have this quote. There's a really good oral history of Drumline on the website Anscape from 2017. Link in the description. The screenwriter said, quote, "was originally pitched felt like a suburban band movie where a black kid comes to a white uptight school and brings the funk to the school. The only thing I knew was that the main character couldn't read. He was illiterate. I thought, no way could I rewrite this." End quote. So the script evolved. They started to do research. They talked to now that it's in college, they want to set it at an HBCU, a historically black college or university. And so they interview the musical director at Florida A&M, one of the big HBCUs. And big bands, and start to understand this culture, start to understand the stakes. They bring aboard Charles Stone as the director. He had just made a movie called Paid in Full. He would go on to make Mr. 3000, the Bernie Mac vehicle. He made Uncle Drew with Kyrie Irving, Underdogs with Snoop Dogg.
I have only heard of Mr. 3000.
From Blunts to Runts. It's called that Prime Video movie where Snoop Dogg coaches a Pee-wee football team, which is based on a real
weed,
which is something that really happened to him.
Right.
Uncle Drew was Kyrie Irving, the basketball star. Had a commercial where he dressed up as an old man and then went and like owned a playground court and like freaked all these people. That old guy's got moves.
Okay.
So then they made a whole movie out of it.
Oh, good.
Otherwise, he is a very prolific TV director. Okay. So what Charles Stone said, he said, quote, "I'd passed on the first script and then 6 months later or so, it came back with a historically black college." Charles Stone is a black man, just FYI.
Okay.
The new script, and that was more interesting. The new script allowed me the opportunity to explore percussion and a style of marching band, the show style, that was much more alluring, more magnetic. Then learning more about what these kids go through. It was just like a sport, you know? I went to one of the summer training camps and it's the exact same thing. It's a real grind. That's what inspired me to do it as a full-blown big sports movie, end quote. Okay, good. So they got all the stuff on board. The studio has just one more demand. Dallas Austin, the guy who inspired the movie and is a producer, said, I got a call from Fox. They said, "Dallas, we don't know how to say this, but put white people in the movie." I said, "Okay, how many white people do you want?"
God.
They said, "We want somebody in the band. We have to have a character because now it's turning into a black movie."
Oh, no.
End quote.
That's, wow.
The director said, quote, "The studio wanted a white character in the midst of this ensemble of color in order to support or give us the amount of money we wanted. We needed $20 million to make it. They were offering us $15 million. In order for me to get the additional $5 million, I had to create a white character," end quote. So then
There you go.
Dallas Austin said, quote, I said, let me see how a white kid's story would be inside of a black marching band without making it ridiculous. I go to Morris Brown College one day and I see this kid. He's one of the cymbal players, a white kid with red hair. I said, where'd you come from? He said, in Atlanta, down the street. I've always wanted to be in the band because I grew up in the neighborhood. We followed that story into GQ's character.
Yeah.
End quote. So yes, the studio was like, hey, we need white people.
I like all the research.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's I like everything with the white people in the movie. One, it made me feel more comfortable. I can be safe watching this movie. But obviously, not just black students go to HBCUs. Plenty of white people in all races. And my aunt and cousin both went to law school at Southern, and I was going to go to Southern University to study law. I could be a lawyer right now doing this podcast and not getting paid to practice law.
And not producing podcasts for lawyers.
Right.
Which is what you actually do.
I actually do. And I like that they're just there as a part of life. It's interesting to see. All right. But who to play the lead? Who indeed? Well, Nick Cannon gets the role. And Nick Cannon was 21 years old at the time. Lacey, he's 6 feet tall.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
He's a stand-up comedian from San Diego. He debuted on Nickelodeon's sketch show All That.
Ah, yes.
And as part of the cast, he became a writer of the show. And at 17 was the youngest writer in television history. This all led to him getting his own show.
That's impressive.
The Nick Cannon Show.
That's impressive.
Yeah. I'm not that impressed.
Because you're a writer. I'm impressed.
I'm kidding. I'm impressed.
He's so
Others
young.
auditioning for Devon included T.I. and Lil Wayne.
Yeah. Lil Wayne, can you imagine?
It'd be a different movie.
It would be something. And I don't feel like PD Pablo would be the person in the car. It'd have to be like Baby or someone else from Cash Money. You'd have to.
So you'd heard of this P.D. Pablo?
Yeah. He was just popular like within those 2 or 3 years around this movie.
Well, I love that then. I like movies as a super specific time capsule.
And it was perfect for a big band song. It's a call and response song. I mean, it's like a cheer.
Yeah, and the director was saying that like some marching bands will do this and people, traditionalists will criticize it. You're just making this a Hollywood razzle dazzle thing. It's not about the music anymore or the musicians.
Well, it instantly made me think of Mad Men whenever they first started using famous people in the commercials and John Hamm's like, that's cheating.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Or in The Simpsons, Lisa's band, school band, loses a competition to, I think, Ogdenville because they play Stars and Stripes Forever. And Lisa's like, Stars and Stripes Forever, come on. But at the end, all the musicians hold up glow sticks. Red, white, and blue glow sticks. And they win.
Wow.
They win unanimously. Let's see. So Dallas Austin, the producer, said, I felt like Nick at the time was closer to me because I wasn't overly cocky. I just knew what I was doing. The runner-up for the role was Lee Thompson Young, who was the star of the Disney Channel show, The Famous Jet Jackson.
I sound somewhat familiar, but I can't picture him.
He died of suicide in 2013.
Oh God, no, I didn't know that. I didn't.
That's the only reason I knew who he was because I didn't know Disney Channel shows. Anyway, Nick Cannon. But
it makes me instantly think of what happened to him at Nickelodeon.
Well, oh yeah. And the oral history I read is way before any of that came out.
Yeah.
Or at least, it didn't have the reporting it has now. But interesting that the two like contenders for the role are both like children's TV stars.
Yeah.
But like Nick Cannon, after this, he tried to have a music career. It didn't quite work out. He wrote and recorded a pro-life song called Can I Live? And he tried to act, but his acting career didn't take off. But instead, he became a super successful, just kind of permanent TV host, like on The Masked Singer and on a show called Wild and Out, which is still running, that he was briefly fired from for making anti-Semitic comments. But then he apologized and seemed to successfully navigate damage control that. Apparently he was married to Mariah Carey for a while.
Yes, he was. A very big age difference.
Okay. What is he most known for?
He's just very likable. Like, I mean, he's just kind of a constant MC. I just feel like he hosted a ton of stuff. He's a hype guy. He's funny. He's good on the spot. He's charming.
Okay. Atlanta A&T is fictional. They filmed the movie largely at Clark Atlanta University and HBCU. And the band was composed mostly of real-life high school musicians. The Drumline had real drummers and then the actors did experience a lot of training to try to get them to be able to fake it. And Nick Cannon's double, his drumming double, was also his tutor. And he said at first he didn't want to drum double. He thought he could figure it out on his own and then realized, no, I can't.
Okay, yeah, that's good arc.
This movie was a moderate hit, and I feel like it's something of a classic. I mean, it's
Okay.
What?
I just didn't expect you to say any of that. I don't ever know with my movies. Movies get stuck in my head whether they're good or bad, and I don't ever know till you reveal it to me. Is it good? God forbid I do an internet search.
Well, big Hollywood movie that is with a largely black cast at a black college. But like the studios were right. Like if we sneak in some white people, then we can sell this to white audiences too. And I definitely feel like I knew kids at my white school who were like, we got to go see Drumline.
Yeah, I mean, I remember it really being popular at the time, but I just don't, like, critically, I don't, and I feel like sometimes it's got to be a critical classic too to like stay.
Yeah.
But I would not have been surprised if you told me it was a cult classic or specifically for people my age.
And then there was a made-for-TV sequel with Nick Cannon in it as his character, but his character isn't the main. He's like Han Solo in The Force Awakens. He's like, it's true, all of it. Dr. Lee,
You're really
Sean, the fraternity guys who are Ku Klux Klan members.
Speaking my language.
All of it. The guy who ate the hamburgers. All right, ready to talk about Drumline the movie?
That was okay, yeah.